So I had to pretend. So in that tunnel is where you get either sharper or you become a sedated warrior. I mean, you guys know men that, when you look at them and there's no life in them. Like, guys who are successful, they actually have money and they have what we call success, but there's no life. But here are the 5 stages of a man. The first stage is the peasant. Now, the peasant doesn't mean that you're not valuable. The peasant is just that peasant mentality, that victim mentality. We become a victim. We're like, fuck, man, like I'm never gonna make it in this world, man. It's usually the teenage years or in the 20s, you're like, fuck, man, I fucking have to work. Now the fucking people, like, they feel like somebody owes you something. That's the victim mentality, that's the peasant mentality. But if something happens in your life, like what happened to me, my dad got sick. I had to figure out how to become a warrior real quick because I couldn't bear my dad getting sick and not have any income at the house. So I had to learn how to become a warrior real quick. So 21 years old, I read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How many of you guys read this book? Raise your hand. That was the best thing that could happen to me. I was in a 9-to-5 job and I was reading this book and I found real estate and I bought my first property and it was 1999, I bought my first property. I bought it with 3% down. Then I flipped it. I made $50,000 and I said, fuck, man, this is awesome. I could do this shit every single day. So then I started flipping properties over and over again. And anybody in that market, at that point, anybody could make money. I thought I was a genius, but anybody in that market could make money. But I became a warrior. I started to know that sales was something that I enjoy. I started to hunt. And as a warrior, what do you think the warrior's mentality is, Ralph? Fucking kill more. So I make 50,000, I could do this all day long. Give more houses, give more deals. What is the main need of the warrior when it comes to God, money, and sex? Money. And if I have enough money, then I have sex, then the 2 needs of the warrior is what? Money and sex. So that's the warrior inside. The warrior doesn't think about purpose. The only purpose the warrior has is to fucking hunt that day, to eat that day. So as you become a warrior and you start becoming a good warrior, what goes through your mind? Is this shit sustainable? Because as you get older, that edge or that weapon that you had as a warrior doesn't work anymore. Why? Because you have kids. You can't go to the strip bar. You could, but now you start thinking different. Like, what about my kids? What about my family? What about this? And then now you start losing that certainty. And that's when the rite of passage comes in. Right between the warrior and the king, there's a stage called the Lord Warrior. And what do you think the Lord Warrior thinks every single time? Is he excited about going to hunt, or is he worried that he's not going to eat? The Lord Warrior is like, fuck, dude, I'm getting old for this shit, man. I'm getting old for this fucking hunt, man. I've been in real estate for, 50 fucking years or 30 fucking years. When is the fucking time I'm going to fucking catch a break? Like, the Lord Warrior at that moment starts to doubt his purpose. The Lord Warrior at that moment, it starts to doubt that he even had the edge in the first place. But he's way too deep in the game to actually say something, because now he has a bunch of warriors that are working for him, or even worse, a bunch of warriors that want to take his shit. So then he's like, shit, no, I'm a fucking warrior, man. Fuck it on my way. I'm good. I'm fucking good. But inside, like, I'm scared shitless, man. I'm scared shitless what's going on. So now you pretend that you have your shit together, but you're in that Lord Warrior stage, and that's where the tunnel comes in. And in that tunnel, like, fuck, dude, like, my fucking weapon, like, you're scared, it's fucking dark, and now you have warriors behind you, you have warriors around you, and like, fuck, dude, are you alone? Because you isolated yourself. You don't have anybody to give you some perspective. You don't have anybody. You're around other people that are going to say 2 things. Either, fuck you, I wish you fucking fail, or what the fuck are we going to do? That's what I was around. Like, my people who are around me, like, Raul, you're the leader. If you're fucked, then we all fucked. Or other people said, fuck you, man. I can't wait for you to fail because I want to take your business. So I had to pretend. So in that tunnel is where you get either sharper or you become a sedated warrior. How many of you guys know men that, man, you look at them and there's no life in them? Like, guys who are successful, they actually have money and they have what we call success, but there's no life. There's no life. Especially in the real estate game. I've started seeing real estate guys who've been in the game for a long time. They have buildings, they have wealth, they have hundreds of millions of dollars, but there was no life in them. I started saying, fuck, man, I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to. What happened to you that you lost yourself in the process? What happened to you that you focused so much in protecting your kingdom and putting in the fucking war, in the barriers that you locked yourself in? You lock yourself in, all of a sudden you become a prison on your own fucking kingdom. And that disease is never enough. It's the never enough syndrome. How many of you have seen that movie? A movie came out earlier this year called All the Money in the World. Raise your hand if you've seen that movie. It's about the richest man that ever existed in the world. The guy who brokered the deal from the Middle East to bring oil to America. And when they asked him how much money is going to be enough, he said, there's never going to be enough. I always want more. They captured his grandson. They were asking $12 million to get him back. He was worth $1 billion at that time. And in 1930, he was worth $1 billion, which is equivalent to maybe $150 billion now. And he says, no, I can't pay it. It's too much money. Can't pay it. And they asked him, how much money until you feel secure? He goes, more. And he died alone. He died in his mansion. And they found pieces of art, like underneath the stairs, underneath the bed, like hidden. It was like he bought art, he bought more wealth because he knew that by buying art, he will accumulate more wealth. So he was never satisfied, he just wanted more. And everybody around him thought he was a king, but in reality, he was a sedated warrior. A sedated warrior is never going to be fulfilled. A sedated warrior is never going to fulfill his purpose. A sedated warrior is never going to leave a legacy. I see, as you go through the tunnel, you go through this process of what I call the rite of passage. Like I imagine God saying, okay, you say you're ready, Steve, to go to this fucking tunnel. Let's see what you got. And then in the middle, you're like, God, please, take these problems away. It's like, I'm giving you this fucking problem so you'll get stronger. Because the purpose that I have for you over here, you cannot fucking handle this shit. If you're shitting in your pants with these fucking problems right here, how can you handle this? That was me at the beginning. I coach a group of women. And then I'm like, God, I can't fucking do this shit. Like, I'm going to fucking, either going to lose my hair or I'm going to quit coaching because I can't do this. Because if you can't handle this, if you can't hold the space for this woman, you cannot hold a space for powerful men. So I have to go through that. Like, fucking God, I'm losing money every single event. What do I need to do? I said, if you can't handle losing money and still doing it, you can't fucking win. Thank God that I was losing money the first year. Had I made money, I probably would have been one of those fucking assholes out there preaching money or preaching how to live a 4-hour work week and join my coaching program. Or driving a Lamborghini and saying, hey man, buy my 99-cent book and become financially free. Thank God it didn't happen because I was going that way because that's what I thought I had to become. But I had to pay the price in that tunnel so I could become a king. So that's the level of a man is when you become a king doesn't worry about the hunt. A king understands one thing, man, we're going to have some good seasons and we're going to have some bad fucking seasons. How many of you guys have some bad seasons in your business? Raise your hand. Welcome to the fucking game. A warrior thinks that he's going to win all the time, and then when he fails, he loses his shit. He takes it on his kids, on his wife, he quits. And warriors usually, because 10 warriors by the amount of businesses they have in their business card. When you guys meet guys like, hey, I'm a real estate guy, then you flip the card. I'm also a mortgage broker, then you flip the card. I'm also this, I'm also that. Doing the side. So that's the warrior's way because you're constantly looking for the hustle. What's the hustle? A king knows, listen, I have a fucking purpose. I may have multiple businesses, but in my core business, I know who the fuck I am. I know who the fuck I am. The difference between the king and the warrior is that the fucking king is honed in who the fuck he is. He's not worried about like what people are saying or his business. Like he knows, hey, I'm gonna fail in this business. I'm gonna make it up in here. I may fucking go down in this one, but I'm gonna come up here. He's strategic about his game. And is the king thinking about next year or is he thinking about 25 years from now? 25 fucking years. 25 fucking years. He's not worried about, I've been doing this for 4 years. This is gonna be my 5th year doing this. Like I committed myself one day, I said, I'm gonna give myself 5 years. I said, 5 years, if I can make this work in 5 years, I'm just gonna go into real estate. And recently, as somebody challenged me, I said, Raul, if you're gonna do something, don't do it unless you commit it to 25 fucking years. So I just renew my commitment. 25 fucking years from now, I'm gonna continue to do this shit. I'm gonna master this. Master the tunnel. Master the kingdom. Master who you're becoming. Because just like Michael said, it's not going to be the final tunnel. But I'm committed to have a legacy. And that's what the 5th one is. When you become an elder king, when you become that guy that already has established and you could pass down your legacy and pass down your information and pass down who you become, that is where the legacy comes in. The main reason why I do what I do is because I know each one of you represents at least 1,000 people. 1,000 people. So by having 50 guys here in this room, we're impacting 50,000 people right now. But unless you become a king and you impact who first? Who do you need to impact first? You. If you can't influence yourself, you will never influence other people.